Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, episode 16. This is a wild one. We're going to start off talking about some NBA betting again. The scandal continues to deepen. We have our thoughts on that. Next, we're going to cover week 8 of the NFL. What another great week it was. Definitely some surprising games this week, so you're going to want to listen to our thoughts on those. And then we're going to lead into some MLB. This is the World Series. What more could you want to talk about than the World Series? Stay tuned for some thoughts on the World Series. And then we're going to finish it off with some more NBA hot topics going on. It's going to be a full show, but the boys are locked and loaded. We're back in the garage, getting kicked out into the garage, which is never good for the boys. So, Andy, tough weekend this weekend or what?
You know what? It was a great weekend of sports. So that's all that matters. I mean, this is a great time of year. We got football, baseball, all 4 sports going on. You know, sometimes there's a sports equinox around this time of year. We can get into that later on. It's wild.
The Venn diagram of professional leagues is in full swing, but we got to talk about this first. The NBA is in shambles. Adam Silver is getting interviewed in tunnels before games and not knowing what to say. Apparently, they're paying Rozier his full $26 million a year salary while he's on suspension. That is a wild thing for someone who's clearly been caught sports gambling. And apparently the sports books reached out to the NBA a long time ago and let them know about Rozier. So the NBA, some wild stuff coming out from Tim Donaghy as well. He's been on multiple podcasts. There's no one loving this more than Tim Donaghy right now. But he made a claim that one of his FBI agents that actually arrested him recently texted him and said that this is just the tip of the iceberg and that there's a lot more to come. And Tim Donaghy went on to explain that there was actually a lot more that was going on when he actually got arrested for this, but David Stern used him as a scapegoat for the entire thing. He even pointed to the fact that one of the lead investigators or one of the high ups around that time actually later on ended up kind of getting swept under the rug. That guy ended up getting a job. His law firm ended up getting a job with the NBA, being their official counsel for the NBA. So there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. I've also heard a conspiracy theory that this might have confirmed, and all of this actions might have confirmed that this might have taken place when Michael Jordan was in the league. And the 2 years that Michael Jordan left the league to go play baseball might have been actually forced by the NBA, and to not ruin the reputation of the league, they just made him go play baseball. So a lot to cover there, but what are you hearing out there on the streets?
Yeah, I mean, hearing a lot. It is crazy. I mean, I'm all in on the Jordan playing baseball was an under-the-table punishment for gambling conspiracy. I mean, he's a degenerate gambler. Love the guy, but just quitting in the middle of your NBA career to go play minor league baseball makes minimal sense, even if it was his dream growing up. Pretty impressive. He was actually a half-decent player in the minors, but never really added up. And the thing you said about how the leagues, they just pinned it on Tim Donaghy. I mean, these leagues are all dirty, and that is their scapegoat strategy 101. You just pick 1 or 2 people and put it all on them. I mean, in baseball, it was known for years. All these guys were on steroids. The league looked the other way because guys were hitting homers. Viewership was up. Then when all this information got out, Congress got involved. It was known. People were juicing. They just said, we're going to put all of it on a handful of guys. We're going to put it on Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. In later years, there were other guys juicing. Baseball said, who's someone who doesn't have a very good Q rating? Who's someone who fans don't really like? A-Rod? Okay, A-Rod suspended a full season, whereas anyone else caught was suspended 50 games or less. I mean, Tim Donaghy, he was one of 30 refs at the time who were implicated in betting on the games, yet the way it's talked about, people think that he was a lone actor.
Well, they also, and not many people, maybe people don't even remember. People watching this don't even know who Tim Donaghy is, but he wasn't the ringleader of this. They need to get to the root cause. So all of these guys that they're bringing up, even Rozier and Chauncey Billups, these guys aren't the ringleaders. These are just the faces now of what's going on. But it's interesting to see how when Kash Patel gets up there, he doesn't really mention anyone from the actual Italian mafia that got arrested either. He didn't mention or drop those names. So it's funny that they're using those 2 stars to kind of push that along. But aside from Rozier and all that stuff, the Chauncey Billups stuff really starting to get pretty crazy too with these poker games. I mean, I've seen multiple videos of these X-ray cards that they were using. I have seen a lot of chatter that there was some big names at these poker games, and Chauncey Billups was not the biggest name. I've heard names float around like Kevin Garnett. Who else have you heard float around?
Oh, we got someone in the NFL. I'm blanking right now.
I think there was also, I think Jason Kidd might have been thrown around a little bit. Oh, yes, there was a couple players from the NFL who were pretty famous. So
I want to say someone else from Minnesota. I feel like it all goes back to Minnesota ties.
I think
I'm blanking right now.
I think what, regardless of the specific names, right, is what you're seeing right now is an absolute mistrust by the fans of what's going on in the leagues. I don't know how we're supposed to watch these games and think that anything is kosher anymore. But we're still watching these games, and we're still giving recaps, and we're not going to stop anytime soon. So this week, the Lawn Chair Sports Podcast is sponsored by Hard Rock Bet. If you want to make a lot of money on same game parlays, this week, Hard Rock Bet will give you 15 cents for every $100 you spend on free parlays. Use the code LawnChairLock this week to make one pick that you think is going to be the winner. Sorry, Andy, I just had to get our ad read in there.
I love that. Always good to got to be good to the sponsors. Use the promo code. We're going to give you picks later in the week, so be sure to use the promo code. I think it's time we get into some Week 8 NFL recap.
Let's do it.
Another wild week. I mean, 8 weeks in, almost at the halfway point. I can't believe it. Having the time of my life this NFL season.
Oh, man. I wish you wouldn't have framed it like that.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Wow.
Flying by. All right, off the rip, we had the Thursday night matchup. It was the Minnesota Vikings falling to the Chargers, 37-10. This one lopsided. Carson Wentz left the game with a shoulder injury. He was out there banged up for a while. I mean, he threw his helmet in frustration. He's now on IR. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, guys, Jesus Christ, let the guy get out of the game. I mean, clearly his shoulder was in extreme pain. Kudos to him for playing through it. But, I mean, Carson, just not really the guy. I thought it was very interesting. There was one play during the game where some of the players ended up kind of rolling onto one of the guys on the sidelines. That guy on the sideline just so happened to be J.J. McCarthy. He jumped very athletically, looking very healthy. So, J.J., what is going on, man? Why are we not seeing you in the games right now? Very concerned about the whole entire Minnesota Vikings QB situation right now. A lot of question marks, a lot of red flags. But overall, very good football game.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get J.J. McCarthy back out there because he looks pretty healthy. I'm also shocked that he's been out for this long. I mean, it was an ankle sprain, but usually teams kind of just make the quarterback play through everything because it's the NFL. And
maybe it's because J.J. McCarthy refuses to do drugs.
It honestly is crazy because that's the one thing. When he came into the draft, some people questioned the ability, but the one thing is everyone knew he was a tough kid. So it actually is surprising that it's kind of taken this long to come back from the injury. And it was just so clear during the game that Carson Wentz was banged up, didn't look right, was grabbing at his elbow, his shoulder the whole time. People online, they're questioning, why did it take so long for the Vikings to put the third string in, put Brosman in the game? I think he only threw 4 passes. To me, this seemed like just some dumb quarterback politics where Kevin O'Connell is afraid of just some made-up thing of, if I put Brosman in and he plays better than McCarthy's looked, then we're going to have a contract. No, you're not. Everyone knows you took J.J. McCarthy 8th pick. This kid was a 3rd rounder. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I feel like we always hear about these dumb quarterback theories, how you have to manage the quarterback position. Like you'll hear, Panthers. I mean, once they bench Bryce Young, it's over. They can't put him back in a few weeks later. You killed his confidence. Then they put him back in last year and turned out, he's actually playing better. I guess it's fine. You can. I don't know. It just seemed like dumb quarterback politicking. They basically left Carson Wentz out to die.
They did. I mean, talking about the dumb quarterback politicking, that's a real thing, right? I don't think here's the real truth of the answer is there's no one way to raise a quarterback in the NFL or have quarterback success in the NFL. And guess what? The ones who figured it out and have the formula, they don't leave. They stay there forever. And so there's not a lot of people floating around in the league who are new that have that formula and figure that out. So because they don't get fired. So always interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Minnesota, Rough shape right now.
Tough one. Yeah, they fall below 500. That was Thursday night. Into the Sunday slate. We had the upset of the week. It was the New York Jets coming back to beat the Cincinnati Bengals 39-38. The Jets trailed by 15 with only about 2 minutes left in the third quarter. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, the Bengals were a heavy favorite in this one, coming off a big win against the Pittsburgh Steelers the previous Thursday night. To me, the story of this game, Aaron Glenn is playing chess, and everybody else is playing checkers. Because you would think the Bengals, they had extra time to prepare. They're coming off a Thursday night matchup. The Jets haven't been good so far this year. Aaron Glenn, he didn't really make it known who was going to start. The media, they were trying to get an answer out of him. He said, I'm not telling. You'll find out on Sunday. And you know what? He basically said, you can take those 3 extra days to prepare and shove it for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to make sure it doesn't matter. They were probably preparing for Tyrod Taylor because Justin Fields went in there. I mean, what a performance. The Jets back on the board, back in the win column. I mean, football's back in New York.
I am very happy for Justin Fields that he had some success and won the game. It's been very tough for him in New York. But, buddy, not the best look after the game crying in front of everyone. America will support you on Twitter, but the Lawn Chair Sports Pod and most real football players and sports watchers, they don't love to see their quarterback crying and telling them how they laid down in the closet and started crying. Weird thing for an adult to say. Definitely a weird thing for a sports player to say who's in the pros. But, yeah, Jets, Bengals, toilet bowl to start, so it was cool to see who was going to win this one. Flacco really played out of his mind, had some wild stats. Honestly, Cincinnati looked pretty good on offense. Who would have thought their defense would be the worst thing? You know, their defense coming into the game was ranked in the top 10 in pretty much every single category. So watching Justin Fields do this, good for him. Aaron Glenn, though, this guy is literally a quote machine. He's one of our favorite coaches in the league. I listened to his whole post-game speech to the team in the locker room as well. He's just an interesting dude. Like, he doesn't talk in normal sentences. He's very fidgety. He doesn't look people in the eye when he talks. He's a weird guy. Personally, I think it's hilarious, but I think we have a lot more Aaron Glenn clips coming in his coaching career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I hope he remains employed with the Jets for a while. I like this guy. I'm a fan. I feel like that's the kind of guy I like to play.
He's got energy. I like it.
And I think on the other side, Zach Taylor should be on the hot seat because this guy has just coasted off one Super Bowl appearance and being friends with Sean McVay. I mean, we heard so much criticism of Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati for years because he got the Bengals to the playoffs year in, year out, but he didn't win a playoff game. And I kept hearing how this guy was a lousy coach, couldn't get over the hump. Well, right now, yes, Joe Burrow's out with injury, but Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than the Bengals ever had under Marvin Lewis. And Zach Taylor is on the verge of having the Bengals miss the playoffs 3 years in a row. I mean, this would be one of the most coveted jobs if it were open with Burrow at quarterback. Zach Taylor, I mean, your time's running out.
Agreed. Hot seat heating up, buddy.
Heating up. All right. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears falling in Baltimore. There was some controversy. People thought Lamar Jackson was going to start. He didn't end up starting. He was not listed as limited during the week. Turns out he was. Tyler Huntley started instead. It didn't matter because the Ravens beat the Bears pretty handily. It was 30-16 in Baltimore.
Snoop Dogg and Tyler Snoop Huntley played his absolute balls out. What a game by him. What a performance. A really gutsy, moxie performance by him. Good to see Derrick Henry tie the record, or actually I think he beat Gary Payton's overall NFL touchdown record in the game too. Not record, tied for 5th, sorry. Still got some room to go. But, you know, Derrick Henry is playing like the beast that he is. But the real story of the game is what we've been saying all year long, which is Caleb Williams is a turd. The guy is one of the worst QBs in the NFL. He has proven that he is definitely the worst QB in that draft class. As Jaden Daniels and Drake May continue to excel and kind of are on the upswing, he is on the complete downswing, Caleb Williams. So he's going to keep painting his fingernails. He's going to keep whining. He's going to keep not calling the plays that the coach is calling. And he's going to just keep being a rogue ranger who thinks that he should own an NFL football team just because he was the first pick in the draft. He couldn't stay at Oklahoma. He couldn't stay at USC. This guy is absolute garbage. Caleb Williams, you are embarrassing all the good Chicago people out there. They deserve more, and you should give it to them.
Yeah, brutal game for Caleb Williams. I mean, this Ravens defense had been terrible coming in, so people thought maybe Caleb can have a field day. No, he looked terrible. Had an awful game, outdueled by Snoop Huntley. I mean, if you bet the Bears yesterday morning, you're pretty upset because I think a lot of people liked the Ravens in this game when they thought Lamar Jackson was coming back. Then you heard, oh, it was going to be Huntley again. They hadn't been great without Lamar. You thought, oh, maybe the Bears, I mean, they're on a winning streak. They might win this one. No. I mean, it wasn't close. You're pretty upset. I might have been one of those people. I don't want to talk about it. But the Ravens kind of saved their season. You know, they're 2-5, which sound like they should be done, but they're only 2 games back of the Steelers in the NFC North. If Lamar Jackson does make it back next week, they start winning some games. Really not that crazy. They could come back and win the division. And yeah, no, I like how Derrick Henry, I mean, absolutely incredible. You know, as you said, ties Gary Payton's record. I think everyone knows about Bo Jackson, you know, multi-sport athlete, did it in the NBA and NFL, but people don't. Gary Payton as well. Famous running back and defensive player of the year with the Supersonics. I mean, just another incredible 2-sport athlete. Doesn't always get the praise he deserves. So
He doesn't.
So that was a good one. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins pulling off the upset, winning handily 34-10 in Atlanta.
Tua and Mike McDaniels, they are back. They looked like the same team that was putting up 70 points a game a couple years ago. One-eyed Tua is the correct amount of eyes for Tua to have. Apparently, he had a really bad case of pink eye, and that's why he couldn't see out of his eye. But it's good to see Mike McDaniels and the boys get that little swagger back. Mike McDaniels, good for him for staying strong. He keeps wearing those capri pants no matter what people are saying about him online, which I respect. So Dolphins played really well. I have Tua in fantasy as well, and he played his absolute dick off, and I enjoyed watching the game. So Tua, thank you for getting me the win this week.
Yeah, what a game for Tua. You know, it's funny. He's a quote machine. He was talking a week or so ago saying, yeah, you know, sometimes since I'm kind of short, sometimes it's hard to see over the linemen, and I just can't see where I'm throwing the ball. Wild thing to admit out loud if you're a quarterback, but then he turns around and has the best game of his season with one of his eyes essentially closed. So, you know, maybe he was just trying to overstate how much being able to see really matters.
Well, Dolphins have sonar.
There you go. That's true.
So he doesn't need to see. He can feel. He sends out the sound waves and sees who's open that way.
It was impressive. And the Falcons are becoming a confusing team because they'll pull off an impressive win. You know, they'll go and beat the Buffalo Bills, but then they'll get blanked 30-0 by the Panthers. Or people expected them to win this game against the Dolphins. I mean, I think the Falcons are just your perfectly average team. They are on a collision course for 8 or 9 wins.
And Kirk Cousins, man, it's time to hang cleats up.
Yeah.
Not a good game for Kirk Cousins.
Pretty sweet backup gig, you know, getting paid starter money to back up, play 1 or 2 games a year.
Guaranteed, too.
But, yeah.
Love Kirk Cousins' agent. Best guy in the NFL.
We could all use an agent like that.
Yep.
All right, that was that. Next up, we had your Buffalo Bills bouncing back, coming off the bye, snapping the 2-game losing streak, beating the Carolina Panthers handily 40-9 at Bank of America Stadium.
Hey, I'm a Bills fan, but I see the trees through the forest, okay? This was not a good team that we played against this week, and it wasn't a good game by the Bills. Josh Allen looks like he is kind of in shambles right now. He is not being accurate. His receivers are not getting open. The play calling is very janky. There's too many runs. There's too many it feels like there's no rhythm or flow. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Bills actually play against some real NFL teams. But a win's a win in the NFL, so kudos to James Cook for playing out of his mind, over 200 yards rushing. But we need receivers there in Buffalo, and we need DBs quick, and I don't know where we're going to find them.
Yeah, I mean, you said it was all about James Cook because Josh Allen actually didn't even really need to do all that much, and they still won it handily. I mean, this was important for the Bills to just get back in the win column. You know, they had lost 2 straight before the bye week. Sean McDermott was reportedly itching and fidgeting during the bye week, so he couldn't wait to get back out there and get a win. And Andy Dalton was bad in this one. I think Bryce Young not playing robbed us of a great photo opportunity. I thought it would have looked cool, him standing next to Josh Allen post-game, shaking hands, just the size disparity. So robbed us of a good photo op. But Bills back in the win column, winning handily. All right, next up, into the late slate, we had the Houston Texans take it down the 49ers 26-15. This was C.J. Stroud's best game of the year. I mean, C.J. Stroud, it'd been up and down for him. He didn't look great to start the year. He had a heck of a game. And I'm kind of putting the 49ers in that Atlanta Falcons bucket where I can't figure out what they are. Some weeks I think they're nasty and it looks like they're ready to get back to another Super Bowl. And other weeks, they just look mediocre. I mean, losing to the Jaguars, now losing to Houston, feeling a bit fraudulent. But the reality is, I mean, Mac Jones has filled in admirably, but they need to get Brock Purdy back. The guy's a game breaker. He's one of the best athletes in the league, and they're at their ceiling when he's healthy. So Brock Purdy needs to get back in the field with the 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers just lack identity right now. They don't know who they are. They've had so many injuries and changes going on that the lack of consistency is just creating a very inconsistent product on the field. So we'll see what Shanahan does to kind of bring the team back together. But right now, the 49ers are in shambles. I think the Texans are pretenders. I don't think they're a real team. They're going to sneak some of these wins out, but I think C.J. Stroud really has taken a step back from his rookie year. He's not ever going to be that franchise quarterback that everybody wants him to be. I am not a Texans fan. Do not expect for me to ever think that they're going to be good while C.J. Stroud is their quarterback.
Yeah, another thing to note here, DeMeco Ryans, Houston's head coach, former defensive coordinator in San Francisco, so he does know Kyle Shanahan's secrets. So that was in Houston's favor this week.
Yeah, and that's a great talking point if you're calling, it's good for me to say something and then forget the name. It really makes the point go well.
I like that. You know what? It happens. But we're moving on. We're just plowing ahead. We're plowing ahead because we're talking NFC East. I mean, the Eagles, they keep rolling. They take down the New York Giants 38-20. The G-Men had knocked off Philly a couple weeks ago at MetLife Stadium. The Eagles responding. I mean, a big game for Jalen Hurts. And tough one for the Giants. Cam Scatterbo going down with a gruesome-looking ankle injury, dislocated. Got to imagine he's done for the season. So
I wouldn't rule Scatterbo out for the season just yet. That guy's a little beast. He's a little pack rat, man. That guy is an animal. But just like Saquon Barkley breaks ankles, the Philadelphia defense was breaking ankles out there. That was tough to see. That was one of those where I actually wasn't watching the game live, but then you open up Twitter and you see, oh my God, prayers up to Scatterbo. And that's just one of those, when you actually find the video on Twitter, that it's going to make you feel that little pit in your stomach when you see it. You're probably going to try to watch it 1 to 10 times because you're going to want to make sure that it was actually what you saw the first time. And then you're going to kind of do it for human curiosity the next 10 times. But still, every single time I saw it was disgusting. Feel bad for Scatterbo. But man, is it finally over in New York? I feel like that little spark that the Giants had from Dable getting Jackson Dart in there, I feel like that's kind of over. The hype's gone. It was a classic. The Giants had this before with the Italian guy.
Oh, Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy
DeVito.
Cutlets, right? He won like 2 games. And everyone was like, oh my God, New York is back. New York Giants football is back. Tommy Cutlets, most famous guy ever. Then his agent tried to... Anyway, my point is New York does this. They have flashes in the pan. They take advantage of them in the media. And then the next week they go out and get blanked by the Eagles. The Eagles prove that they're the number 1 team in the league. It's going to be tough seeing anyone beat the Eagles. They're so loaded on top down. And at the end of the day, football and the NFL is about talent, and the Eagles have a lot of talent.
Oh, Eagles absolutely loaded. I'm so glad you brought that up about the New York fans just going nuts over a flash in the pan. I mean, there is no fan base in all of sports that's more delusional about what their players actually are than New York fans. I mean, we had an entire month known as Linsanity for about 15 good games. And honestly, compared to some of the recent, hype trains, that was actually earned. I mean, I'm talking about Yankee fans. Anytime they have a prospect, they think they're the only organization in the entire league that has prospects. I mean, these Knicks fans, they want Giannis traded to them in exchange for nothing. I saw a video of a local New York radio guy saying, if I'm the Knicks and I want to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, I should call the Bucks and offer Jalen Brunson to get their attention. And all the Knicks fans in the comments were saying, who is this guy? Get him off my screen. I don't want to hear this idiot. The reality is the Bucks would laugh you off the phone even if you offered Jalen Brunson. They don't want Jalen Brunson. Knicks fans thought that was too much. I mean, Jackson Dart, it's a nice story, but this guy's not elite. He might have a future, but let's calm it down. I mean, he looks like just about the most average quarterback I've ever seen. Career backup. But yeah.
Well, his game style is not sustainable. So him thinking that he's kind of like the man, he's going to get the spark on the team by trying to bowl people over to get the extra 2 yards, that's not sustainable for NFL quarterbacks. You can't be doing that. These guys on defense are grown-ass men, man. They are very big, very strong, and very athletic. This isn't Ole Miss anymore.
Oh, no, it's not. I mean, other eps to note, yeah, tough one for Scadaboo. He did get a visit in the hospital from Big Dom, the known Philly sideline security guard. Brought him Philly cheesesteaks in the hospital, so nice gesture from Big Dom. And before the game, I mean, just too funny not to bring up, A.J. Brown, one of the more absurd diva receivers we've seen. Like, I feel like there have been guys who are more, outlandish, but I think the ways in which he expressed the divahood are just too funny. I mean, reading a book on the sideline during a game last season, but he was caught online deleting old tweets where he had praised Jalen Hurts, which I feel like is just an incredible passive-aggressive way to just say you're upset you're not getting the ball.
Why is this guy going into his Twitter history and doing that? That's crazy. Andy, you make a good point. I don't know if we have enough diva receivers. Maybe we grew up in the heyday of diva receivers, but do people not remember Terrell Owens talking about his quarterback, doing sit-ups in the driveway? That's my quarterback. Talking about my quarterback. And then doing sit-ups in the driveway. I mean, that was prime time. We had Chad Ocho Cinco. I mean, the guy changed his last name to Ocho Cinco instead of Johnson. I mean, that was a wild time to grow up. I mean, Randy Moss was mooning the Green Bay fans.
Yeah, Randy Moss had his moments.
So I think we've lived through some wilder receivers. But A.J. Brown, good on you for bringing that diva mentality back. I love it, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here for it. But Eagles, back in the win column. They've now won 2 straight. All right. Next up, we had the Patriots taking down the Browns 32-13. They keep rolling. They've now won 5 in a row. They're 6-2. So I was pretty happy to see this. I mean, Drake May's playing well again. He had one really bad interception, but beyond that, another great game. I mean, look, I'll always take a victory, but frankly, this one probably shouldn't even count in the standings because Dylan Gabriel is horrible. I mean, this kid should not be in the league. It's absolutely crazy. And I think we saw it later in the game. Myles Garrett was livid. I mean, he's throwing his helmet on the sideline. He said, I don't want to play for a losing franchise anymore, and then signed a 4-year extension in the offseason. But I understand his frustration because the Browns, they've been searching for a franchise quarterback for their entire existence. Yet there's a guy buried deep on their bench who, if they put him in the game right now, would be a top 5 quarterback. And I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders, the star from Colorado. He's being held out due to a non-football agenda. And kind of in the wake of all of these, betting scandals in the NBA, I mean, we even have coaches involved. I think this is a pretty good time to investigate Jimmy Haslam and Kevin Stefanski because what are you doing?
Nothing would bring America closer together than Shedeur Sanders getting his first NFL start. He deserves it, but the only thing blocking him from getting this is Kevin Stefanski. This guy is an absolute criminal. Okay, he just got asked after the game this week, would you consider putting Shedeur Sanders in given Dylan Gabriel's things? And his response was, I'm just focused on our football team right now. Buddy, he's on your football team. What do you mean? You're focused on your football team. That's not an answer to the question. It's normal to get talked about the backup when your starting quarterback is playing that bad. Dylan Gabriel threw a football to no one while in the end zone for a safety. And then he started pointing, and there was no one there. If you are a Browns fan, you are more upset than freaking anyone in the NFL right now. I mean, it was an awful performance by Gabriel, and apparently Stefanski has no idea what his solution can be other than one of the best NCAA passers in the last 50 years, Shedeur Sanders. Put him in the game. And for Myles Garrett, I need to address this face-to-face. and I'm not actually going to do it face to face because you're a terrifying human being, but I'm going to stare at my camera in this garage and I'm going to tell you what I think. Miles, you need to mature. You need to grow up. You have a owner paying you $100 million to play football, and you are acting like a little baby. I don't care how hard it gets on the sidelines. You have to keep yourself together. You're competitive. Great. You're amazing at being a DN. Great. Be a better teammate. You are helping no one by throwing your helmet on the sidelines, and it's players like you that give people in the NFL a bad name when they get these high-paying contracts. Stop being a baby and be the leader that you are literally paid to be. So I am so over Myles Garrett. You knew exactly what you were getting into when you signed this contract. You chose money over wins, and now what? You're mad about it? The only person you should be mad at is yourself. So look at yourself in the mirror and fix that first before you talk about anything else in the Browns organization. However, I do agree with most of the stuff that you're probably mad about.
Yeah, no doubt. Bad moment for Myles Garrett. Second worst moment for him involving a helmet. Next up, we have the Buccaneers getting an easy win at the Superdome. They rolled the New Orleans Saints 23-3.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler benched. He took it well in the media afterwards. But, yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, the Saints are the Aints. They're not good. They're tanking for probably Arch Manning to go play, where his grandpa played, which is in New Orleans. So, I don't know. The Saints are so irrelevant to me. Could not care less. But the Bucs keep rolling, and Baker Mayfield keeps those MVP dreams alive.
Yeah, it's crazy. Baker, he didn't even really play that well, but he didn't need to. And they've got a lot of guys banged up. They kind of caught the Saints at a perfect time. So the Bucs back in the win column after losing previous Monday night. That's that with this game. All right, next up, we had the Indianapolis Colts, the best team in the NFL, rolling the Tennessee Titans 38-14 in Indy. Jonathan Taylor, another big game. Danny Dimes continues to sling it. And we have Cam Ward cursing out his interim head coach, Mike McCoy, during the game. What are our thoughts?
I don't even know where to start. I'm going to say a couple things. Number one, Jonathan Taylor, you need to buck the trend. The MVP needs to go to you. There's no one more deserving in the league of this award right now than Jonathan Taylor. I do not know why he's not getting more coverage. This guy is an absolute animal, and he's showing it week after week after week. And he himself, with the help of Danny Dimes, have put the Colts in a position to be one of the best teams in the league this year. Okay, that's my Colts take. They keep on winning. Cam Ward, we were right again, Andy. This guy is a disaster. He's a bust. He's a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell, even though Jamarcus Russell was bigger than Cam Ward. This guy is no way. If we were to give Cam Ward blank tape, and this sucks now because no one watches DVDs anymore, so it's all probably digital. But if he had to go home and watch actual DVDs, and the coaches gave him 3 DVDs, 2 of them would have been blanks, and Cam Ward would have said he watched all 3. There's no way this guy's watching film. This guy's a bum. And his attitude, I don't know where he's getting off because he acts like he's already an established quarterback in this league. He needs to also shut up and follow the opposite of the Myles Garrett playbook and figure out how to be a leader for his team.
Yeah, tough look to see the rookie, yelling at the veteran head coach. Even if you don't agree with what's going on, he's just yelling at him saying, "What are we doing, Mike?" All right, settle down there, Rook.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Titans keep losing. And, the Colts, they might have the 2 best players in the NFL right now. And it's an incredible tandem. I'm talking Jonathan Taylor and Danny Dimes. The MVP tends to be a quarterback. It's been in recent years. Jonathan Taylor deserves to be the MVP winner.
MVP.
It's crazy. And with him playing so well, I can't help but think back to one of my favorite owner quotes over the years. And it's slightly less funny because Jim Irsay has recently passed away. But at the time, it was just an absolute banger of a quote. It was going into either last season or the season before. Jonathan Taylor, he won a new contract. He said, I've kind of outperformed my contract. I wouldn't mind a new one. And in their, public battle over this new contract, Jim Irsay basically says, if you died tomorrow, no one would care. And if I died tomorrow, no one would care. And then shortly after Jonathan Taylor, he said, wait, what? Can you trade me, actually? Because it's kind of weird for your employer to just say no one would care if you died. It was just an absolute banger. R.I.P. Jim Irsay, but that was funny. And, the whole thing worked out. He's still in Indy. He's playing great. He might win the MVP. So,
It's a weird time to be alive.
Absolutely crazy time. So the Colts back on top of the AFC. All right, next up, we had the Denver Broncos getting a big win, 44-22 over the Cowboys at Mile High Stadium.
Cowboys fans, look at me real close. Your season's done. Dak Prescott's not the answer. Is it time to just blow everything up in Dallas? I'm not talking literally, but I mean, I think this roster needs to be looked at from the top down, the bottom up. It doesn't even matter. Every single player needs to be evaluated. You get rid of a franchise guy like Micah Parsons ahead of time. You kind of knew that the tank was coming, but you didn't expect the tank to happen this quick. The Dallas Cowboys are finished. They're done. Dak Prescott is horrible. Jerry Jones needs to give up ownership of this team. If the good people of Dallas and Fort Worth ever want to see a winning football team again, they need to get Jerry Jones out of league ownership.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry, it's been a tough run. And people last week were saying that they thought Dak Prescott should be in the MVP consideration. I mean, awful take. This guy had a terrible game. He threw 2 picks. Brutal game for Dak. And this was the classic matchup of a great defense versus a terrible defense. Okay, this Broncos defense is elite. Cowboys defense can't stop a nosebleed. But you got 2 quarterbacks that are pretty evenly matched. I mean, Bo Nix completely outperformed Dak Prescott. He had 4 touchdown passes and just 1 pick. J.K. Dobbins gave him 111 yards on the ground. Bo Nix turned into a nice little player. The Broncos, I think they could be a dangerous team come playoff time.
You don't want to see Sean Payton and Bo Nix on the same page in the playoffs. That is for sure.
Wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Okay. All right. Into the Sunday night matchup. We have the Green Bay Packers getting a mark of revenge, if you will, against Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Green Bay going to Pittsburgh and winning 35-25. Jordan Love out-dueling Aaron Rodgers. They both played well. Love had the better game.
Yeah, it's always cool seeing an Green Bay Packer quarterback play his previous team, the Green Bay Packers. That's always a fun thing. I remember those days back when Favre was with the Jets and also the Vikings. So very cool to see Aaron Rodgers play against his former team. But the young gun outdueled his protege, or I don't know if that's the right words. But anyway, you understood what I meant, so don't make fun of me. The thing is with Aaron Rodgers is he's very limited from a mobility standpoint. So if he has any pressure on him in these games, he just can't function. And the Packers pressured him well. Micah Parsons is an absolute beast up the middle when he goes on the D tackles, and he's a beast on the outside as well. So Packers continue to be one of the better teams when they're playing well. The Steelers are really just unknown. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they find a way into the playoffs this year, but it was cool to see. I saw after the game as well, Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love kind of hugged each other. It looked like Jordan Love wanted to do a jersey swap, but Aaron Rodgers said, "Listen, kid, keep your jersey on. I don't want it." So kind of a flex by Aaron there, but Aaron has never been known for being a nice guy.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, Jordan Love, he kind of downplayed it. He took the high road, but this was a big win for him. I mean, he scored a measure of revenge against his former teammate, Rodgers, who, you know, refused to mentor him in his 3 years together and called him a scrub who can't play. So big bounce back for Jordan Love. And you know who deserves a shout out is Tucker Kraft, the Packers tight end, a monster game, 2 touchdowns, 143 receiving yards. I mean, this guy, he's the best tight end in the league who a lot of people probably don't even know exists, probably because a lot of people don't even know where Green Bay is. But this kid is balling. I mean, he's one of the top tight ends in the league.
I agree. Tucker Kraft is the most underrated NFL football player in the league, in my opinion.
He is. All right. That is it for our Sunday recap. Another great week of games, you know?
Yeah, I'm sad you had mentioned that earlier about the week 8 being halfway through the season, man. I mean, I feel like we wait so long for the NFL season to come, and then for it to just end so quick is demoralizing. I've really enjoyed the weekend, kind of the cadence of Saturday being college and then Sunday being NFL. It just gives you something to do on the weekends. I don't want to have to go paddleboarding. I don't want to have to go golfing. I don't want to go work out at a group fitness with my friends. I want to watch football. That's all I want to do. And that is what America is made for. It's made for sitting in some lawn chairs, drinking some cold ones, and watching some foosball.
Yeah, it's honestly, it was a weird time every year after the Super Bowl, because every Sunday for the past 5 months has just been football, 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 you have to kind of look yourself in the mirror and say, wait, who am I as a person? What do I value? What do I like spending my free time on? I don't even know, because you just get to just suppress it for months. People say, hey, you want to go to the park? No, football's on. Hey, you want to do this? Football's on. Football, football, football. It's kind of a moment where it can be a moment of self-actualization. I mean, people try to find themselves, but you know what? We still got a good runway before that.
Seasonal depression's a real thing, Andy. It is a real thing. And once that football season ends, I think a lot of grown men from age 21 to 45 enter a very, very sad stage of their life.
Yeah, very real consequences to not having football on year-round. So definitely important thing to hit on. All right, next up, it's going to be a new segment, okay? It's a new segment. It's presented by Hawaiian Punch, because when you're taking in all the action this NFL season, I mean, you want the best in the game. You know, we're trying to figure out who's the best in the game this season. I mean, when it comes to just flavorful, exotic fruit juices that always deliver, Hawaiian Punch is the best in the game. They're the sponsor of this segment. It's the Panic Meter. Okay, so we're each going to give you 2 teams that we think are just panicking right now. Okay, we're going to be, where are things going real bad? Okay, I'll start it off. One of my teams is the Panic Meter. I think it's the Minnesota Vikings. These Vikings, I mean, they're in a quarterback crisis. You know, it seems like they're in the same situation year after year. They just need that franchise guy, someone who can step in, play some solid football. The rest of the team is legit. I mean, they've got one of the best receiver duos in the league. They're running the ball. They got a good defense. But the quarterback play is not there. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, they gave up real draft capital to go and get this guy. So far, he's played in 2 out of 24 games. I mean, I don't know if he's ever going to be a top talent. You got to be available. And it looks like under Kevin O'Connell, you can just slide anybody in there, and it'll work. Anybody better than Carson Wentz. I mean, they need a quarterback who's a cut above. I think they might have some, seller's remorse kind of letting Sam Darnold walk out the door right now. I don't know. They're in a tough division. These losses without J.J. McCarthy might have kind of sunk the Vikings' playoff chances.
I agree. My panic meter this week, number 1 leading panic team is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're in absolute shambles. They're losing to the New York Jets. This team has been a shell of themselves since they went to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow can't stay healthy, even if he lived in a bubble. Zach Taylor has the guys playing horrible football. They do not know what their identity is. Joe Flacco was never the answer. They should have traded for Shedeur Sanders, but the Bengals have to look themselves in the mirror and realize that they're paying each receiver that's on the field about $100 million a year, and they're paying Trey Hendrickson, which is not even a top 10 defensive end in the NFL, also like $45 million a year. They have wasted all of their money on those 3 guys and Joe Burrow. There's no more money to go around for, offensive linemen, running backs, defensive tackles, defensive backs. They've spent all their money on non-important positions. The Bengals are in shambles, and they should be smacking that panic button right now, man.
Yeah, that's a good call there. Next up on my panic meter, I mean, it's through the roof. It's through the roof. It's the New York Giants. This team, the one thing they had going for them was Cam Scattaboo. This guy was an animal. He was yelling crazy things in the camera. I mean, he wasn't afraid of any tackle. He's going to be out, and I think the air just came out of the balloon. They're realizing Jackson Dart's mediocre. They're not even the best team that plays in their stadium. Brian Daboll is a fat idiot. He's clueless. This franchise has 0 direction. And since they spent a high draft pick on Jackson Dart, they will feel compelled to start him for at least 3 seasons. So not until 2028 can the Giants start over, draft another quarterback. I'd be panicking if I were New York.
I think that's a good one. All right, my second people I'm putting on the panic button this week is my Buffalo Bills. It pains me to say it, and I know if you're a scoreboard watcher, you're probably thinking, oh, the Bills are back. After 2 losses off the bye week, McDermott had the boys ready. No, you did not watch the game. McDermott did not have the boys ready. The Bills have no talent right now. Josh is in shambles. There was even a quote saying that his grandma called him this week to say, Josh, you need to just smile on the football field. There's nothing to smile about, Grandma. There is nothing to smile about, Grandma. Right now, the Bills consist of 3 football players. James Cook, Josh Allen, and Ed Oliver. Everyone else is an absolute bum right now. And if you're a Bills fan, yes, we're going to make the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. We're probably going to win the AFC East. Not worried about that. But do we have enough in the tank to beat Kansas City in the AFC Championship game? That's really all that matters as a Bills fan. I am panicking right now. Keon Coleman, you suck. Palmer sucks. I don't even know the other receivers because they're that bad. The only player that we have that I forgot to mention, Khalil Shakir is probably a top 3 slot receiver. But you take out Khalil Shakir and there's no one else on the offense other than Dawson Knox. But the point remains, we don't have that dominant number 1 threat right now, and it's really going to prevent us from winning. And when the hell did Jordan Poyer come back on the Bills? He is slow. He was slow 3 years ago when we released him. And now he's back. That's how bad we are in shape right now in our defensive backs. So the Bills, I'm worried as a fan, but if there's anyone I can trust to get us through this, is Josh Allen. But I'll tell you who I don't trust. I don't trust Sean McDermott, and I don't trust Brandon Beane. Both of them are beneficiaries of getting lucky with Josh Allen, and that is it. They do not know how to run an organization. Even though we've had the success, I would put it all on Josh's shoulders and less on theirs. So I'm hitting the panic button early. And I hope I eat all these words, and I hope we win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they just put so much on Josh Allen. It's like when you get a guy like that, you owe it to him to give him good weapons to work with. I thought they should have been more aggressive in the offseason to get a receiver. DK Metcalf moved. I feel like he would have been a great fit there. Even now, I mean, if there's any chance A.J. Brown could be on the move, get in on that.
Well, it's time to dump the draft picks. I mean, it's win now or never win. In the NFL, your window closes so quick when you have a quarterback like this. Josh Allen could get hurt tomorrow, and the Bills transplant back to the early 2000s Bills where they didn't make the playoffs for 17 years. We need to take advantage. Get rid of your second and third round picks now.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
I'm passionate about that one. Sorry.
Yeah. No, even after a win, there's still room to be panicking. So the Bills on the panic meter. All right. That was a great segment. I think it's going to be here to stay because that feels like a hit. Next up, I mean, we're bringing back a very popular segment. It's back by popular demand. We went away from it for a week or two, but the people said, hey, where's the Knucklehead of the Week? It's back. The Knucklehead of the Week. Who is a freaking knucklehead this past week of NFL action? Trent, how about you start it off?
Yeah, I have a knucklehead who's always been a knucklehead, but he is back on the front page of sports media right now. That is Brian freaking Kelly, man. This guy is the epitome of what a knucklehead is. I mean, he killed a guy at Notre Dame, and no one even cared.
That's true.
Then he got fired, somehow got his money from Notre Dame. And who the hell at LSU was in charge of hiring Brian Kelly? This was going to be a flop from day one. The guy goes to the basketball game and starts talking in a Southern accent. The guy isn't even from LSU or anywhere in the South. He's from Boston, for Christ's sakes. So this was really tough for me to see. It was really tough for me to see him get the job, but there's nothing better for me to see than him get fired and have to pull up his car to the facility and go get his stuff from the facility by hand. I don't like Brian Kelly. I think he's a scumbag. I think he does weird dance moves with recruits on weird filming like platforms that they have at LSU. I think he was screaming at players and grabbing them way too physically during games. I don't like Brian Kelly. I think he is a fraud of a person. I think he's a fraud of a coach. And I don't know how these schools are shaping up to pay these people tens of millions of dollars for not working, but kudos to all these college players or college coaches for getting paid when they get fired. But you still remain the knucklehead until the day you retire, Brian Kelly.
Yeah, that might be the best gig you could have, actually, a fired college coach, because they all sign 10-year deals, but no one makes it even close to 10 years. I mean, Brian Kelly, it's crazy. You know, people say there's nothing worse than someone faking a Boston accent. I think the worst, evidently, is a Boston guy faking a Southern accent. I mean, that's an even lower. And yeah, LSU is going to be a top opening. I mean, we've seen LSU and Alabama both, have job openings in the past year and a half. We'll see. I mean, you would think any coach would want this gig, but I don't know. Some of these college coaches getting hired. It's bizarre.
Coaching is one of the weirdest professions out there, though. You can fail so publicly and so outright fail at a spot and then just get rehired by an even better organization the next year. It's the most bizarre thing. Think about it. If you just went to work and just sucked, I mean, you just did the worst possible job to the point where they literally have to fire you without even letting you go back in the office to get your stuff. And then you just get calls from companies, from your competitors, and they're like, hey, we'd actually like to pay you guaranteed money for 10 years. You're like, wait, no, I actually just got fired. Like, and they don't even interview. They're just like, no. We want you guaranteed money for 10 years. You're like, all right, but I literally lost the company millions of dollars. But okay, I just think it's bizarre. The coaching profession is bizarre. I wouldn't be surprised. This is not out of the question that Brian Kelly goes to Penn State and James Franklin goes to LSU. I mean, there's a world that exists out there where that actually happened.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame will be a top coaching candidate, but would LSU kind of be worried about dipping into Notre Dame for their head coach again? I mean, I feel like that'd be a dumb reason not to do it, but these schools and teams do dumb things all the time. So
yeah, I mean, they just did a dumb thing, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. All right. My knucklehead this week, he's very frequently a knucklehead, but, he came out of hiding. He had some banger quotes. It's Jets owner Woody Johnson. And mind you, this was all leading up to the week of the Jets scoring their big upset win over the Bengals. But, I mean, he came out swinging. He said to the media, yeah, we're losing these games mostly because the quarterback play is just terrible. I mean, this Justin Fields has given us no chance to win. Very rare to hear an owner be that critical of quarterback play, or really any player, just during the middle of the season. I mean, tough times for Justin Fields. That contributed to him having some hardship, shedding some tears during the week. Woody Johnson's crazy. But another quote that really just sent Jets fans up the wall. He was saying, yeah, I mean, my ownership has not been a success in terms of winning, which is an incredible quote. I mean, at least he told the truth, but I like how he qualifies it with, in terms of winning. If you're a fan, all you care about is the winning. What is that supposed to mean? Well, I pocketed a ton of money off of it. I mean, I've really grown my portfolio, so I can't say it's been a fail. Oh, the winning games thing? Oh, yeah, no, that's been a fail. I mean, just no awareness of what the fans want to hear. This guy's awesome. I love when owners are just put owners in front of the mic as much as possible.
I agree. We don't get enough of it. I mean, what is he like? Happy that he was on the top 25 best places to work list or something? I mean,
yeah.
like
dude, what are these
the
metrics?
only thing that matters is winning football games. So
football. No, yeah. We've been bad at that.
So for you to say that is just a wild move. Not very tone deaf guy.
Yeah, no. So Woody
You're
Johnson.
You're a knucklehead, buddy.
He's the knucklehead of the week. All right. That takes us to the end of our Week 8 NFL coverage. I mean, crazy week. It's been a hell of a season. And I can't wait for the stretch run.
I'm very sad, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah, I got 10 more weeks to go, so we enjoying every minute of it.
It's not over yet.
All right, now it's time to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk some World Series. We got the Fall Classic going on. We're shooting this on a Monday, and World Series Game 3 will be tonight in Los Angeles. Games 3 through 5 in LA. There were 2 games over the weekend in Toronto. The Jays and Dodgers, they split the first 2. I mean, Game 1, the Dodgers, they came out of the gate swinging. They're putting runs up on the board early. The Jays rookie, Trey Yasevich, who had been very impressive so far in the playoffs, he was getting knocked around a little bit, but he hung in there. The Jays eventually got the Dodger starter, Blake Snell, out of the game. And once they got to that Dodger bullpen, the floodgates were opened. The Jays, incredible rally. They put up 11, came back to win 11-4. The highlight of it, Addison Barger hitting a pinch hit grand slam, the first one of those in World Series history. And the Jays, they pounced to win Game 1.
And people in Toronto were pumped, man. I have some friends up in Toronto, and they were loving it. Toronto was feeling back like Kawhi Leonard was back in town. So that was cool to see Toronto get that first win. But then Game 2 happened.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto's rocking. And I think the big thing to take from Game 1 is, the Dodgers' weakness is their bullpen. Both these teams have good pitching. The Dodgers have the best starting pitching in the league, and that's going to carry them. But the bullpen, kind of a weakness. If the Jays can get to that bullpen, that's their opening. Both of these teams have star-studded lineups. The Jays have a good rotation and a good pen. I mean, that Dodgers pen, though, that could be their Achilles heel. And Game 2, that was the story. We're talking Yoshinobu Yamamoto, of the Dodgers, complete game. Dodgers win 5-1. It's his second consecutive complete game. Also threw one in the NLCS against the Brewers. This guy's been worth every penny from when they signed him before last season. They gave him big money. Only made 18 starts his first season. Made 30 this year. 2 complete games, including this one in the World Series. And that was the difference. If the Dodgers don't trust their bullpen, just don't use the bullpen. I mean, he really helped the Dodgers steal a big game in Toronto, but it's looking like it's going to be the formula. It's almost, if they don't have Yamamoto throw a complete game, I mean, can the Dodgers win? Because I think if you're Dave Roberts, you don't even want to touch this bullpen. You don't trust anyone in there right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, not to get too much into the analysis, I think the Blue Jays are in a good position right now. I think they'd get the win tonight in LA, but it's going to be a good game. I'm going to be locked in tonight.
Oh, absolutely locked in. So I think this is shaping up to be a good series. People thought it would be a pretty lopsided Dodger victory. No, the Jays are showing they're here to play. They're hitting homers. They're exciting. So
the MLB needed this. With the viewership down, they needed a good World Series like this.
Absolutely. That's true. That's a known fact. Viewership has been tanking this season, so maybe the World Series can kind of draw people back in.
That's all I can think of.
All right. So, yeah, can't wait for the rest of the series. We'll be covering it here. All right. We hit on this off the top of the hour. I think we got to get back in the NBA. And
let's do a little NBA talk.
Games are happening, things are going on. But, no, everyone's thinking betting scandal.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it last week. Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups arrested by the FBI. But we've had some time to kind of let those thoughts marinate a little bit. Let kind of, what are some new thoughts that developed? Where are we at?
Yeah, I mean, my new thoughts are the NBA could potentially be in some serious trouble for some actual congressional hearings on this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We've heard that from actual sources in the FBI. I think there's a lot more to this story. I'm interested to see the backdoor dealings going on between Adam Silver, the Chinese government, and the United States government right now. I would not doubt if a lot of this stuff that's coming out is a ploy to distract us from other stuff, but I'm not going to wear my tin cap too strong tonight. All I know is I want to kind of get away from this betting talk, and I want to start talking about some real basketball. I just can't yet because the implications of what's going on are just too big to ignore.
Oh, it's all way too juicy. And, I'm glad you hit on the point of there are going to be some backdoor dealings happening because the FBI is involved. I mean, Trump's in the middle of it. There's a pound of flesh to be had. But if you're the NBA, they can't let all of this get out because it could destroy the reputation of the league. So I got to believe there will be some sort of backdoor dealing that will be reached. What would that be? I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to offer something of value to Donald Trump. I mean, here's some theories. We're probably expanding to Las Vegas in a few years. That's been on our radar for a while. Hey, you'll be out of office in 2028. Any interest in some Las Vegas ownership? Or what about something China?
Yeah.
A lot of draws there. Hey, our players have been awfully critical of you. Maybe we get them to get off your back a little bit. Or, hey, the NFL, I mean, they're the ones who turned you away from ownership when you wanted to buy the Bills. They're your real enemy, right? All the players were kneeling for the anthem. Hey, we've got connections to the NFL. We have some dirt on them. Do you want some dirt in the NFL? You can go after them. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be, but I think they could buy Trump off their back in this one.
I just kind of put 3 news stories together in my head just now, and it all kind of is aligning and making a little bit more sense. Now, hear me out. Okay, I want you to kind of put on your tin cap with me here. I heard a couple weeks ago, this was before the betting scandal, that Maverick Carter, if you don't know who Maverick Carter is, he's one of the owners of Clutch Sports. Clutch Sports is essentially LeBron James's company. Maverick Carter is essentially LeBron James's right-hand man. Okay. A couple of years ago, they said they were going to be investing with some other NBA players. I think it was something along the lines of $500 million to start basically an overseas league to try to compete with the NBA. It was recently said about 2 weeks ago that league that they were going to do was actually defunded. So they decided not to move forward with it. But they decided not to move forward with the league overseas. Did LeBron and company know something was going to happen with the NBA? And did they pull out the money overseas because they actually see an opportunity to potentially develop their own league in the U.S.? I wouldn't put it past LeBron James, being how conceited that guy is, that he thinks he can actually start his own NBA league. I know Caleb Williams can't own a team, but LeBron might actually be worth it to start a league. And I wouldn't put it past Maverick Carter to get Jay-Z involved, who also controls the Super Bowl halftime performances for like the next 15 years, to really do something weird here. I think there's a lot more going on behind closed doors than we'll ever be privy to, but sometimes it's just fun to kind of dream. But I think LeBron is not a part of this betting scandal at all. I think he has enough money at all, but I think he knows what's going on, and I think he could try to capitalize on the NBA and Adam Silver being in extra panic mode right now.
That's a great theory. And also, it is crazy, the gall of just any great athlete thinking that their greatness will translate to anything. They'll be incredible at it. I mean, we've seen small examples of it, such as Michael Jordan's ownership. Yes, you were a great player. You're not great at owning the Charlotte Bobcats. To every retired athlete opens a restaurant, and it's a terrible restaurant. It's overpriced. No one likes the food. It closes down. I mean, LeBron James, he's never had someone in his life to tell him, yeah, this rival basketball league probably not going to work out. So I like it. I mean, he believes he can do anything, and they say without belief, nothing is possible. Yeah. So you know what? He's got a nice support group around him.
Yeah, you got Draymond Green, Maverick Carter, the entire Nike organization. Yeah. Other than that, not many people.
Yeah. So it's absolutely exciting. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I feel like a distinction needs to be made as we hear about crazy parts that are coming out. You know, look, Chauncey Billups in some hot water. I mean, these illegal poker games, people are getting scammed out of money. We have, Damon Jones was arrested. He was a former Cavaliers teammate of LeBron. He had been kind of a unofficial coach with the Lakers. They kind of let him hang around the team, fly on the team, playing and all that. He had been kind of relaying information about LeBron James to groups that were betting. I feel like a distinction needs to be drawn because what Terry Rozier is doing, where he is throwing the ball with the other team, asking out of the game because he said he hurt his foot. I mean, that is truly compromising the integrity of the game. So if you're just a fan of the sport, I mean, you should have no tolerance for what Rozier is allegedly doing. Whereas I feel like it's a little more iffy with Chauncey Billups. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's scamming people out of these poker games. He's involved in the mafia. But I'm talking just from the perspective of a sports fan who wants to see games with integrity. I mean, do I care that much that Chauncey Billups, told mafia members that, hey, the Trailblazers, we are planning to tank down the stretch. Lillard's going to play less minutes. It's not really public, but yeah, we're out of the playoff race. We're gunning for a draft pick. I kind of distinguish between throwing games and not trying on plays versus just sharing some insider info. Even the guy, Damon Jones near LeBron, saying, oh, yeah, it's not public, but, I know LeBron's a little banged up, so I'm going to bet on that. That's not compromising the integrity of the game. If anything, that's screwing over the sports books, which I don't really care about unless it's Hard Rock Bet, because they're the official sportsbook partner of Lawn Chair Sports. I mean, they've been nothing but good to us. They throw us incredible promo codes weekly, and they make it happen. So if you're going to place a bet this NBA season, do it on Hard Rock Bet. Maybe do a parlay. I don't know.
Hell yeah, brother.
But I feel like a distinction does need to be drawn because the more and more names that come out, it is just like we're hearing, oh, Kevin Garnett was at the poker game. Now people are thinking, oh, was that guy throwing games? Not so fast. That's a crazy accusation to make. Terry Rozier needs to be in his own bucket. I mean, there are different levels of
it's all a
being
distraction, man. It's all a distraction. October 29th is coming. The stock market's going to crash. This is just a distraction. Trump is going to make a lot of money off of that.
Wouldn't be shocked one bit. One last thing on the betting I do have to ask. In light of all this coming out, NBA players doing some shady stuff, Rozier throwing games, throwing the ball away. Are there any players or maybe plays over the years you look back on and think, was there something fishy going on there? Any of them come to mind?
It's a great question. I think one comes to mind, and it was the Fab Five, University of Michigan. Chris Webber calling a timeout when he knew his team didn't have timeouts to get the flagrant foul or the technical foul where the other team gets a free throw, and they made it, and the Fab Five never wins a national championship. it's an easy one to just blame a college kid. Oh, he didn't know there was timeouts. He pressured and blah, blah, blah. No, they need to go back and see if there's any suspicious bets going on the Hard Rock Bet app for that game. Because Chris Webber, did you do it intentionally? You dirty dog.
Yeah, that's a great
You
call.
dirty dog. Sorry, I just had to say that.
No, it had to be said. Honestly, this wasn't my original thought, but another basketball that comes to mind just now. I mean, J.R. Smith not knowing the score in the NBA Finals, dribbling away from the basket. I kind of want to just believe that he's so out to lunch that there was nothing shady going on and that was completely authentic. I think I am going to believe that.
No, that's a great one. No, he definitely did that on purpose.
Yeah, that was
No,
crazy.
that was definitely on purpose. There's no way a human being who's in that situation does that on accident. He did that on purpose. Great take, Andy.
And then I love just at the last minute he just pushes the ball in the
Great
corner
take.
with no time. Yeah. But the main one that came to mind. I mean, I'm going back about 7 or 8 years. The Minneapolis Miracle. I'm talking the Vikings Miracle comeback win against the Saints in the playoffs. Last play, Case Keenum throwing the ball to Stephon Diggs down the sideline. The Saints defensive back, I believe Marcus Williams, with the most half-assed tackle attempt I've ever seen. It's like he went to tackle Diggs, then kind of just ducked down like he didn't want to. It was like the guy froze up. I mean, it was bizarre. Everyone felt bad for him after the game. He was the face of the loss. But it was just the most bizarre attempt ever. It was almost like he was so afraid of getting a penalty. I'm thinking there might be something shady going on there. Because that was just, how is that your tackle attempt in such a key moment? And I don't want to ruin just a wonderful moment for the Minnesota sports fans. But are we sure that was on the level?
You know what, Cash Patel, look what you've done to us, man. Now we're questioning every big sports event, every big play from the last 15 years. This is just, well, actually further than the last 15 years. What have you done? You've ruined the integrity of the games, Cash.
And that's what's tough, because I don't necessarily look to the individual players or people who are kind of being indicted in this. I'm looking at the FBI. I'm looking at the sports books. They're the ones who are kind of ruining the sports.
Yes.
It's the ones who are catching those who are throwing the games. It's ruining my sports experience.
Yeah, just stay out of it, FBI.
Okay, let us believe this is real.
Yeah,
okay,
we know it's not real, but we enjoy Santa Claus.
that's right. It's a great comp. All right, we will have more on that as it comes out. I mean, this story, it's juicy and it's just getting juicier. So, plenty more than that. Elsewhere around the association, everyone's injured. Like, it seems like everyone's out with an injury. Bron's are out with a butt injury. Luka's going to miss some time. He's going to miss a week. Anthony Edwards will be out 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. What's going on there?
I don't know what's going on. I mean, there's not even physical play going on in the NBA anymore anyway. They have made it damn near impossible to even block shots at this point. There's no hand checking involved. I don't know what's going on. I think what happened is the NBA players stopped working out and they got too skinny. They had to get skinny to kind of play this new style of basketball. Everyone in the NBA is paper thin. They do not work out. They cannot lift weights. None of them can squat more than 225, which is embarrassing. But I can't even think of an NBA player right now who looks strong. The Greek Freak, compared to everyone else, looks like a beast. But if you put him up against an NFL player, he doesn't look that strong. I mean, yeah, tall for sure. But these guys do not work out anymore in the proper way. They need to replace all the rubber bands in the gym that the NBA players use with free weights and barbells, like the good old days. Because I can tell you this, Ben Wallace with the Detroit Pistons, you think that guy was doing internal rotations with a red band? No. That guy was doing deadlifts, squats, and benching. NBA, you need to bring back powerlifting. Otherwise, your players are going to just be out with little soft tissue injuries non-stop. Strong muscles equal good muscles.
Yeah, and it's crazy because people praised Luka for dropping all this weight in the offseason. Is it possible that this is kind of his undoing?
Fat Luka never got hurt.
Yeah, and that is true. Consistently healthy, and many exercise scientists have said over the years, you can't pull fat. So, right now, he's out with injury right now. I don't know.
But the NBA, it's weird times right now. A lot of people injured.
Yeah, tough. Main stars off the court,
Yeah, and honestly, if the NBA doesn't have its stars, it's very boring to watch, especially when the games are so meaningless at this beginning point of the season. But, we'll just have to hear more people talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and how he just tries to get foul calls. Guys, that story is so dead to me. I'm not even going to belabor it anymore. I don't want to hear about it. They are fouling him. And yes, being a good actor and getting fouls drawn, that's a skill. It's not a negative thing. He's not going to stop because you're mad about it. So just lay off that story. Please lay off that story.
Yeah, as annoying as it is to watch, I mean, this happens with every high-volume guy who has the ball and drives the basket. James Harden made a career out of it. If you ever watch Jalen Brunson, it's not all that different. It's the reality of the game. It's annoying. It's annoying because the best strategic play is to get to the free throw line, but the value of watching that on TV, it's just awful. No one wants to watch free throws, whereas any coach would tell you, yes, that's a great outcome to get to the free throw line. I don't know. It stinks. Luckily, the Thunder won the title last year, and the defending champ doesn't make it past the second round anymore. So don't expect to have to watch that deep into the playoffs. I mean, someone new is going to pop up this season. I don't know.
Andy, I want to move on.
Let's do that.
To a surprise segment.
Oh, I like a good surprise segment.
This is a surprise segment. I did not talk with Andy about this before. But, Andy, you have $100,000 in your bank. You have to put it into one stock. And I need this stock to boom in the next 12 months. I'm not keeping this thing for retirement, so don't give me a Disney stock. I don't want to hear it. I want one stock, $100,000. I need at least $200,000 in 12 months. I'd prefer to get that in 3. Which stock are you picking?
Yeah, I mean, I am hammering Alibaba right now. Alibaba, I mean, they're leading an AI revolution right now. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's the talk of the town. They've been ripping lately. They've been on a crazy roller coaster. I mean, things peaked in 2020, really tanked. I mean, things were bad.
Well, you know why they were bad for a bit.
Yeah, there was the Chinese government. There was a lot going on.
Well, no one could find him.
He did disappear. He's back.
He's back.
I mean, it's kind of like when LeBron returned to Cleveland. I mean, they were in the dumps. They had no chance of winning. But Jack Ma's back. I mean, I expect Alibaba back in an NBA Finals. Maybe they'll even go to 4 straight. I mean, that's kind of that's the way things are looking now that he's alive. He's back. The Chinese government, they're laying off him. They're not hitting him with fines quarterly. I feel like that was always kind of a bummer. Whenever an earnings report would come out, it would say, yeah, the earnings were okay, but they got hit with an $8 billion fine by the government. At that point, I said, maybe I shouldn't invest in Chinese companies anymore. No, they're back. Alibaba.
All right, Alibaba. All right, my pick that is a lock right now is Broadcom. Ooh. Okay, if you don't know what Broadcom is, look it up. It's the NVIDIA of 3 years ago. If you guys want to make some heavy returns, Broadcom is it. I also want to state, just a disclaimer here, we are not financial experts. If you want financial advice, please reach out to a certified financial expert. We are not financial experts. We are 2 idiots sitting in lawn chairs in a garage. So anyway, thank you for indulging in my surprise segment this week.
It was a great segment. Yeah. Always good to keep us on our toes.
Agility.
Love that. All right. Anything else you want to get off your chest this week? Anything else you got in the chamber?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously been talking, me and you, about laying off the booze for a while now, but I think it's time. I think we go no drink November.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's not realistic, and we're going to drink in November. But I think just having that intention in your brain of drinking a little bit less, maybe not drinking as much during 1 hour periods. I think those could all be helpful. Now, the good thing is, me and you do not drink during the week, so don't worry about that. We're weekend warriors, and we have a good time. And I think the problem is we got a good group of guy friends. We have a blast when we go out, and we're in Florida. So St. Pete, if you guys haven't been, is just a beautiful place. You get out there, you have a couple day drinks, you have a champagne in the morning, and you look and you're walking by the water. Everyone's in a good mood. Everyone's fit. They just worked. I mean, it is an electric place to day drink, but that's also a trap if you live here, because as 2 people who grew up north, it does feel like you're on vacation every single weekend down here in Florida. So that's what I have to get off my chest. I'm going to intentionally put it upon myself. Let's get healthy again. November is when it starts. I'm not waiting until January. I'm going ahead of time. I'm going no carbs now too. And
there you go.
Tough. I'm doing no carbs.
Great way to do it.
I'm going Atkins diet, old school. Bacon, deli meat, and cheese.
So yeah, no booze. Also, it's a great way to make sure you you don't get yourself in trouble by saying something dumb at Thanksgiving. You know,
Yeah.
kind of a way to just keep yourself nice and tame. You
No,
know?
I'm gonna drink at Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big because then if you weren't drinking, how would you hit on the key topics like Trump, AI, crypto, the government shutdown? I mean, we got to get those conversations flowing.
There will be segments of the Lawn Chair Sports Podcast at my dinner table on Thanksgiving, and they will not be. No one wanted those segments.
Hey, they had to happen.
What about you? You got to get anything off your chest?
Not a whole lot.
All right.
Not a whole lot. I really just I put it on the line this whole episode, but yeah, I'll be just bringing you takes daily. I mean, I guess the one that comes to mind. I've been thinking about this for a lot recently. I got a souvenir cup a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And sometimes people say like,
was it the Shabuzi? Okay. Yep.
Of course it was. And well, it's kind of a two-part thought. I'm kind of in a pickle because one, the cup, it says they know me and Jack Daniels got a history, and I was talking about maybe I should get sober, maybe to improve my life, maybe there are benefits to it, but now I just kind of feel obligated to drink whiskey out of it, so that's putting me in a bind. But if you don't get up for a souvenir cup, I don't even know if I can trust you or look at you. If you don't get excited about that, then what do you get excited about? I mean, what are you here for? I don't know. People say, hey, that's a piece of crap. That plastic costs 1/3 of a cent to make. I don't care. I mean, that's a lifelong memory.
I am in total agreement with you. And back in the day, before I met my wife, my entire dishware was all souvenir cups. I had souvenir cups like people collect shoes. Okay, I had it from ball games. I had it from Bills stadiums, New York stadiums, you name it. I had a souvenir cup from it. And when I met my wife, one of the first things she did to ruin my life was to take away my rights to souvenir cups. She said there wasn't enough room in all the pantries that we had in our apartments. And I had to unfortunately part ways with most of my souvenir cups. But I do feel like those are an early casualty of a serious relationship is usually the souvenir cup.
Yeah, that's a good point. So unmarried guys, enjoy the souvenir cups now. I mean, you won't know how much you'll miss them when they're gone. So, kind of get your reps in now.
And once they're gone, they don't come back like LeBron in Cleveland. They're gone. They're gone for good.
That's right.
But hey, great pod. That was pod 16. We're still humming along. Guys, listen, we really appreciate you following along. If you've made it to this point, you're a true listener. Leave us a comment if you've actually watched this whole thing. We're interested to see how many people are. Now, if you do see no comments, well, you wouldn't even have gotten to this point. So it really doesn't matter. So thank you for your loyal listeners. Please follow us on podcast, whatever your favorite podcast distribution service is. We're on Amazon. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. Find us on all those. We're on YouTube. We do our video podcast on YouTube. You can find our clips on Instagram, TikTok. We're going to start doing some more shorter videos on YouTube so you guys don't have to find all of our good parts. We can kind of spell them out for you guys. But we are just happy to have anyone watching our podcast. We can't thank you guys enough. We really appreciate all the support. We have now amassed over 4 million views across all platforms in the first 45 days. We're getting reached out to by sponsors. It's an exciting time for the boys at the Lawn Chair Sports Podcast. So, let's just keep at it, Andy. 16, and we got 16 billion more to go, buddy.
Seriously, cannot wait. Let's keep doing it.
All right, thanks, guys.